I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
All right, so we're out here and we're going to try and take the front fork assembly down to where we can get to the tire, get the rim off, get the hub off, get the brake off, so we can go and see if we can get some brake pads and possibly get a tire today. So we're going to get started. Jeff's here. I'm always here. So let's get working. Alrighty, so I got the wheel cylinder off. The brakes on it are looking good. I mean, the brakes on it look good. So I don't think those need to be replaced. The line's looking a little ratty, but now what I'm going to try and do is get off these big end caps here and drop the wheel down. If I can drop the wheel down, then I'm going to go and see about getting a tire. I called around, and this 13-inch tire, what they're telling me is, oh, they're phasing them out. Well, if there are, 2 billion cars still running on this size tire, I can't believe they're phasing them out, so I'll just have to find one. I'd prefer to get a new one, but if I have to get a used one, as long as its treads even and flat wear, because it goes on the front of this, we'll do that. So we're still working. Alrighty then, we are down to basically a standoff here with this end cap. I can't tell whether it's because it's aluminum on metal, and we know what that does, the corrosion factor. The other side will come down fine. This side just seems to come down so far and stop, and hopefully it's not pulling the end cap stud out of the fork, the bottom of the fork. But it's got to come off because now it won't go back on. So we're going to do what we can do to get it off and clean that, and then we'll put some sealer on it to keep the metal from corroding to the aluminum again when we go to put it back on. But that's where we are. It's kind of a standstill. We're 3 hours into trying to get this one side off. So this is fun. I knew it would be. We're still working. Ta-da! 3 hours. 3 hours on this part right here. Gilligan had a better shot than we did. At least he got a couple women to choose from. I got you.
And the millionaire.
There you go.
Okay. Yep.
Slick. That just came right off. No problem, just slid right down. But look, it's been greased. That other one was dry as a bone. Alrighty. Alright, so we got the hub off. Has the disc brake on it, the hub mount, the shaft. The bearings are noisier than I would like, but it's a sealed pressed in system. Just not going to be able to do anything with that right now. This side end cap came off really well. This is the one we had trouble with. The stud, we finally got it to stop pulling out, and I actually got it to come loose, but with the metal on aluminum caps, sorry, shaking really bad, but with the metal on aluminum caps, we had that corrosion, and that's what pulled it out. So the stud pulled out about 3 threads of the pressed in knurl. I'm hoping it'll hold. So what we're going to do right now, since the brake pads were in such good shape, now we got to go get a tire. This one is, I don't know if you can see, but the dry rotted cracks in this thing are huge. And got to get a tire, and we'll come back, put that on, clean up everything, and see what we got after that. We're working. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire brush. It has a lot of gummy deposits on the rotor. It's still in good shape. It's nice and smooth and even, so I'm just going to hit it with a wire brush real quick and try and spin it off, and we'll see if that works. It always has in the past. We'll just see if it works now. Oh yeah, that's cleaning it up. That's cleaning it up really good. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and take the rest off with that. I might have to hit it with a fine grit. I mean, I used to take and turn brake drums, brake rotors while they were still on the car years ago before they made the machines, and it's always worked out really fine. As long as you don't gouge it and throw the balance off, you're good. Alright, we got all the gumminess off of it, so now it's just got a little bit of pitting, and I'm going to try and smooth that down with a little bit coarser disc. Alright, so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to hit it lightly with this grit. I'm going to give it a spin, hit it lightly, and if I keep it spinning and pull outward, it should stay even. Again, it always has. We'll just see what happens. Beautiful, nice and even, just down to the new good pad. I'm going to take a little bit of this rise off on the outside, and then the other side's perfect, so there's no need to even touch it, so we'll do that. Perfect, smooth, straight, solid. I took that little bit of rise on the outside off. Everything worked really good. The other side's in good shape, so I'm not going to worry about that, and we'll keep working. Alright, since I got it off and it's such a pain in the butt to take off, I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side. It really doesn't need it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, we're good. So we're going to put it back on and go through all that. This is all the corrosion and everything from that aluminum being up against a steel part, and then you get a little bit of moisture and salt and whatever in there, and it really, that's what seized those up, made it corrode around this post, these studs, and that's what pulled this one out a little bit and really made a mess out of it. so Jeff is filing off the scale and rust from the floating plunger. The floating plunger is what sets on top of the caliber right here and allows the caliber to float back and forth. It slides. Well, these on the front have been corroded so bad, and it's only pushing on one side of the brake. So I would think that that would have an effect on how the brakes were not giving me full stopping power. So we're going to try and do that. We got one out, and we're going to try and get the other one out. We've got PV Blaster on it now to try and unseize it, but it is really, really, really in there. So that's why the brake pads are good, but it was wearing on one side because it wasn't floating. It was only pushing on one side of the disc. So it's starting to get dark. We're going to do as much as we can, but tomorrow it rains. If I don't get it back together tonight, it'll have to set another week. So we're still working. Alrighty, so we ran into the problem where this glide was seized inside the cylinder to allow the caliper to float back and forth on the router. This one was seized, but we were able to get it out pretty easily. The other one was seized. We basically had to beat it out. And now it's a little deformed, so we had to deburr it and kind of melt it back into shape. But in doing so, I had to, of course, take the caliper off, so now I've lost all my fluid, and with as low of brake pedal travel as this thing actually has while it's pumping, I'll never get it bled again by pumping it normally. So I'll get a vacuum bleeder sometime soon. So we won't be putting this back together fully today. We will try and get it at least assembled and the lines hooked back up so we don't get any moisture draw. But other than that, it's going to be another week before we can do it because the weather's rolling back in again. So we're still working, but this may be the end for today. See ya!
Damn, that was annoying.